If you've ever followed what you thought was good style advice, bought the recommended pieces and still felt oddly wrong in your clothes, this isn't a personal failing. It's a systems failure. Most style advice assumes that if you assemble the correct items, everything else will somehow sort itself out. The advice is that a timeless wardrobe full of classic pieces, a white shirt, black pants, a blazer, a little black dress, a camel, trench, and the like is all that you need to be stylish. In fact, you may already own them. If you're like many of my clients, you may have owned several versions of them. And yet, getting dressed still takes more effort than it should. You look fine, but don't feel stylish, and you can't explain why, which is usually the most irritating part. At this point, many intelligent women reach a very sensible conclusion: that style is frivolous, self-indulgent, or just not worth the mental energy, especially when compared to work, family, and other responsibilities that actually matter. Now, I understand that conclusion. It seems logical. It's just based on faulty input. The way you present yourself is not a reflection of vanity. It's how authority, credibility, and self-trust are made visible to others. Your personal style is the infrastructure for a functional, high-capacity life. If you don't intentionally shape how you're seen, you're surrendering authority by default. The problem isn't that you don't understand style. It's that most style advice was never designed for you. Must-have lists only work if we all live the same lives, value the same things, and want to be perceived in the same way. We don't. Generic advice treats women as interchangeable units with slightly different heights. It assumes your life looks like a neutral stock photo. There's work, some socializing, a family, and the occasional holiday. When advice ignores your personality, lifestyle, values, environment, and how you actually move through the world, it produces wardrobes that are technically fine, but disappointing in reality. That's why many women own clothes that rarely get worn. Not because they intentionally chose badly, because the framework they were following was incomplete. Now, rules are easy to sell. Understanding isn't. Unfortunately, rules don't adapt, but people do. Most people talk about style as an outcome, a look you arrive at, an image you perfect. That framing is the root of the problem. A look is static and a life isn't. If your wardrobe only works when everything else is ideal, when your body is at what you think of as your ideal weight, your role is stable, the weather behaves, you're having a good hair day, and your energy is high, then it isn't doing its job. Good style behaves like a system, and a system reduces friction. It adapts. It produces consistent results without constant effort. When style works properly, it lowers decision fatigue. It supports how you think and move through the day. It fades into the background instead of demanding attention. If getting dressed feels effortful or oddly unsatisfying, that's not a motivation problem. It's a design problem. Most approaches to style pick a side. Some focus entirely on the outside, how you want to be seen, what looks professional, what signals authority or competence. Others go fully inward, only considering self-expression, authenticity, dressing purely for personal preference. Both fail in predictable ways. Dress only from the outside in, and you may look appropriate but feel like you're wearing a well-constructed costume. Dress only from the inside out, and you may feel authentic but repeatedly frustrated when your clothes don't land the way you expect in the real world. Real style lives at the intersection. It starts inside with who you actually are, how you think, what energizes you, what drains you, how much visual complexity you enjoy or don't. And it works outside with how you want to function in the world, how you want to be perceived, the roles you occupy, how you want to feel in different contexts. When these two align, style stops feeling like work. Decisions get faster, clothes earn their place. You stop arguing with your wardrobe at 7:30 in the morning. Most people never integrate these directions. They swing between them, trying to express themselves one week and conform the next, and then wondering why nothing settles. Alignment is what makes style sustainable. When style doesn't work, the cost may not feel particularly dramatic. It shows up quietly, buying clothes that seem right but never quite integrate. Standing in front of a full wardrobe with nothing you actually want to wear. Spending more time than necessary deciding what to put on. Feeling visually off in moments that matter, without being able to explain why. Individually, these are small irritations. Together, they create a constant background hum of inefficiency and frustration. The most expensive part isn't the money spent on clothes, though, according to recent research, this is still a considerable expense. It's the ongoing cognitive load of an unresolved system. That's why so many women say to me after getting their education in colour and style, I really wish I'd sorted this out earlier. Not because they wanted more outfits, because they wanted ease. Style, when designed properly, doesn't demand attention. It gives back. There's a specific shift that happens when this is finally resolved. And it's not just about becoming more stylish. It's quieter than that. Getting dressed becomes largely automatic instead of a daily negotiation. Clothes work together. Outfits adapt. Your wardrobe starts behaving like it was paying attention. More importantly, something internal settles. You stop doubting your instincts. You stop needing external validation. You stop wondering whether you're doing it wrong. Style becomes supportive instead of performative. Many women tell me they didn't realize how much mental energy this was consuming until it stopped. Not in a dramatic way, just a noticeable return of mental bandwidth. That's the transformation, not just an improved look, a stable system. If you prefer clarity over trends, understanding over rules, and systems over endless advice, this doesn't need to be complicated. The work is learning how to understand your own style drivers, make decisions that align with who you are and how you want to function. And also stop relying on generic frameworks that were never designed for you. That's exactly what my colour and style program, 7 Steps to Style, was created for. It's a structured step-by-step system that teaches you how to build your own decision-making framework so that you're no longer dependent on externally derived must-have lists, trends, or borrowed logic. Not a makeover, not a set of arbitrary rules. A practical, operating system for getting dressed with less effort and more alignment. Remember, the way you present yourself is not a reflection of vanity. It's how authority, credibility, and self-trust are made visible to others. If this way of thinking resonates, 7 Steps to Style is the natural place to begin.